Hello Marvel Heroes fans, let's do a video on Human Torch, and you must have seen some of the action I've done for Human Torch a while ago, and now I've got his legendary to to rank 5, so it is a high time for me to take a look at do a video on him. And I would like to start with the Cosmic Patrol first, because right now the rotation is on the Meta Manhattan. So I think it's a very good opportunity to show you how he plays like. And in this video, I'll probably go through one build with you, but there's a variation. Now, some of you may be familiar with something called a beam waving, whereby I can squeeze a little bit more DPS from just waving some other power to it. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but from my experience, because when I build guide, I want my guide to be quite accessible to as many players as possible, be it as advanced or just new players starting out and so on. So I would like to maintain my guide to be simple, and I think this is one of those builds that has a very good there's little or no spirit issue with this build, and also a pretty good survivability as well, and that's why I like to introduce this build to you. Alright, so now the one that I want to introduce some powers to you as I play this game, and you can also observe how he plays like in a rather demanding environment like the Cosmic Patrol. Alright, so now some of you say that he could be a little bit fragile, no doubt about it, and it's really all about being aware of what's happening, because Human Torch could be quite fragile, but at the end of the day it's about how you build Human Torch as well. So there's something that you probably want to be aware of. I have two costumes, one for health and one for health, one for crit damage rating. So with the two kind of like costume, I'm actually quite comfortable in both easier and harder content. So that's something I'd like to introduce to you, and just doing the manip after that. Okay, this is signature, by the way. You can see a lot of fire flame going on. And the one thing great about Human Torch is that I can see a lot of flame flying around, and he has one of the most fantastic visual effect that there is up there in the game. So now the very first thing that you like to notice is that for Human Torch, he does a burn. So that's one thing that you need to be aware of. And also it's good to actually, now there's a lag on the video thingy, but it's also good to stand on the fire to give you higher damage return. So to play him, you probably have to somehow either drop some fire, stand some fires for somewhere for 10 seconds and so on, and that is probably more ideal when it comes to playing Human Torch. So long as you are standing on top of fire, so fire can be scorching pride, or you could be a scorching wall as well that will consume as fire. So this is one and second layer, and so long as you stand on it, you're above for 10 seconds. You don't need to keep standing on it if you don't want to. Alright, so there's also enough power to sort of recuperate spirit. Now I'll tell you what, let me just probably head to a Doom terminal and just play a little bit more on Human Torch while I introduce his powers to you. Alright. So this is the Cosmic Doom terminal, and playing Human Torch together with me, Havoc, the team up. Now I'll just talk through Human Torch a little bit while I play this game. Hope that's okay with you. And and hang on, I've got a legendary quest here as well. So when it comes to Human Torch, it's actually very easy to play. I mean, he's one of those heroes that you don't need to hotbar dance at all. If you want to put the crowd control at your hotbar, you can even do so. I mean, you can fit everything there without even have to toggle to anywhere. And that's why I enjoy playing Human Torch a lot, because of the simplicity. He also travels very fast as well. And for those who are new to the game, I think this is probably one hero that you would enjoy playing. Now, of course, when it comes to Human Torch, it's always a little bit, you may feel a little bit fragile with Human Torch, and that is normal. Because his health is only about 20,000 if you don't use a health costume. Right now I'm using a crit damage rating costume. So you have to be on the move all the time, and you can't just really stand still and take the hit. So playing Human Torch requires you a lot of like kiting around, moving around, and so on. And Mech Kit also helps, so use it, abuse it. And his signature is called Flame On. This is the one, and it has a very nice buff everywhere. And with him, it just fires everywhere. The effect is wonderful, and his kill time is pretty amazing as well. That's why I really enjoy playing Human Torch. And Human Torch has a 3 damage layer. The more damage layer you have, the more powerful his main spender is. So that is very nice. So you see, you look at how I play. It's quite a lot of like hiding around, but that's okay because Human Torch is fast and like the kind of speed to it. There's not many heroes whereby you can play like with that kind of speed and the. So I mean, there's also another power to sort of like recover the spirit and health, and I use it quite often as well. And that's why I prefer to max certain things. And I mean, you look at all these things here. I mean, now the spirit is full, health is full. You know, so that is very nice, and the animation is beautiful as well. All right, so you have to get away from things that may harm you. Have this awareness as well. So now also whenever you stand on fire, you get a buff on for 10 seconds. So abuse it whenever you can. And so I'm going to do 3 layers of 1, okay, 2, 3, 2, 4, okay. So you just have to just be aware of where things are and where you stand and so on, and you should be fine as Human Torch. Now his 3 layers are as follow: the Scorching Pride, the Scorching War, as well as the Scattering Blaze. So long as you have 3 layers, this main spender will hit pretty hard. So it's very easy to play. Just make sure you keep dropping the 3 layers whenever possible. 1, 2, 3 layers. All right. So that is about it. Just keep painting the town red and move on, and you can actually break off stun if you want to. So that's easy. So you know what, I normally my CC breaker, the crowd control breaker, is on my function key. So I'm going to bring it to I'm going to bring it to somewhere that is easier for you to see. All right, here. So I'm going to use it, and as and when I get stunned, I can use it as well, because you wouldn't want Human Torch to get stunned too often. All right, so. But it's, I mean, I hope you get an idea. It's actually pretty straightforward. You just put some wall behind, and 3 layers of DPS if you want, DOT if you want, and that's it. Just keep painting the town red, and keep going back and loot, and that is probably the spirit when it comes to playing Human Torch. And whenever you are short in health or spirit, make sure you use the Fury regeneration. That is very useful to regenerate a portion of health and spirit. That would keep your health and spirit intact pretty nicely. All right, so that is. I hope you get the idea, right? So 1, 2, 3 layers of damage over time, and then use a homing, and that is about it. All right, so usually little or no resistance when it comes to cosmic terminal like this. And in cosmic patrol, you have to be a little bit careful. So I usually go for the health gear. Just you guys know how I treasure health and defense when it comes to harder content, just to make sure that there's not too much running back and forth when he got defeated. All right, so yeah, so that is Flame On. That is the very nice. He become very powerful after Flame On. So usually what I do, I drop Scorching Pride on top of me, so as to get a boost on the damage, and after that I just go for Flame On. So I think for those who play Human Torch, you probably would agree with me how powerful he is when it comes to all this like content. And even single target, he's amazing as well. Now, I'm going to talk about the rotation in another segment of video, and I would also talk about something called beam waving. I talked a little bit more just now when I was doing the Cosmic Patrol about beam weaving. I understand that a lot of build out there nowadays are talking about this beam weaving. I've tried out. It sort of like help. Of course, I get a faster kill time, but it requires me to do a bit of like yeah, I mean it's kind of a bit odd. When it comes to gameplay, I usually prefer my heroes to be a bit more like just more fluid, less clunky kind of thing. So beam waving to me seems a little bit kind of like a bit of a bit clunky, so you know I always enjoy things that are not as clunky, so yeah, you know me, but I'll show it to you all as well, so just in case for those who are interested to get the max DPS out from Human Torch, you could as well do a little bit of beam waving just to make sure that 2 powers are being waved here and there. So let me see how's my bounty so far. I may or may not get the 3rd chest, but let me see. So here's me against Dr. Doom. I'm going to use the okay, so I can just go up close and personal with him and just like burn him down. So as you can see, it's actually pretty alright. 1, 2, 3. And during signature time, there's no spirit cost anyway, so I can break myself here. I'm going to use ultimate here as a blast stage. I try not to get too far away from. Okay, so here is buff myself. Alright, okay, ultimate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that is he has his bubble on. So okay, so that is my signature flame on. Let me just get a bit out. So as you can see, it's a little bit more fragile, but then because all this doom is going on and power cosmic, and also because he bubble up, I think, so it make the kill time doesn't look as impressive, but you know, believe me, it's actually pretty good stuff here we have. So very cool. Very agile, and I can do the signature again, and okay, so that is about it. Alright, so that is me against Dr. Doom, and I've completed my legendary quest. Get a little bit of stuff here. No, I don't have my 3rd chest, unfortunately, but that's fine. If there's Hand of Doom, there's Hand of Doom. No, then it's fine. So I got idle. Yeah, well, alright. Welcome back to the training room. I hope you have sort of like get an idea how Human Torch plays like in the Cosmic Patrol as well as Cosmic Terminal. This part of the video is about the build and so on. Alright, so when I first come to his build, like I mentioned before, I value, you know, something that is accessible and a bit balanced as well, because I think, you know, we can always go crazy over DPS, and I'll tell you which one are the one that you probably won't aim for if you want to go for maximum DPS. But sometimes I would like to take a more balanced approach just to enjoy the game and you know, carry through all the content, raid and whatnot, you know, without having sort of like too much difficulties here and there. So you know, Human Torch could be a little bit fragile, so you know, something to watch out for. Now like I mentioned before, let's talk about a build whereby the most accessible build, and after that I'll tell you one that's probably, I'll share with you one that is probably a little bit more for the advanced player if they want to play that way. Otherwise, you know, you don't really have to. Alright, so like I mentioned, there are 3 layers of the burn, so damage over time. So the first layer is the Scorching Pride, because it applies the vulnerability as well. And after that, second layer, you should lay the Scorching Wall. Now, you know, this is something like the cable's power as well, whereby it's sort of like any enemy projectile that pass through would sort of deal 25% less damage. So, you know, think about the Cosmic Gate as well. Usually I laid 3 in front of Madam Hydra, so that when the bullet come to me, it doesn't really hit me much. So that is very useful. And the and another one that I usually have is a Scattering Blaze, but then it does have a traveling time. It does take a while to get there, so you know, just look out, you know, where this one comes in. You could, you know, potentially do something like you know, just shoot it out, and then after that, you know, lay the thing there as well. So it's just a bit timing wise, you need to sort of like do all this. But I mean, look at all these visual effects, it's wonderful. You can maintain like, you know, a couple of them, like 2 of them, you know, a few of them, you know, you can even stand on top of it. When you stand on fire, you deal more damage. So there's something very nice. Just make sure that you have you aware of all these 3 layers, and whichever you pick, either the blast, the incinerating blast, or the homing flare, you know, both of them are being buffed by the damage over time layer we have here. And by my calculation, homing flare has a better DPS compared to the beam, as well as I think it's more, I mean, it's more fun to see all this homing stuff going on, but it takes like a second before it's sort of like a fire off. So you know, in the raiding environment, it's alright, everything just continue, but sometimes you can see the stop and go animation just be aware of it. And then after that, on this side of the house, you have this flame on, which is signature buff your power for 10 seconds, and that is very nice, and also spirit cost reduction. So you see my power when after I've done the flame on, you see the spirit doesn't really go down that much, and that is why. All right, so this one recommend to max it as well, and this one is the one that if you stand on fire, you sort of like you gain more damage for 10 seconds, so a little bit more, plus of course once I have my gear, it will be a lot more, but this is very nice to have. All the rest of the I think it's more for fun build, for like this one, the extreme combustion. I wish this was cooldown, so I have one more thing in my hotbar to play with it, but hotbar to play with it, but it is not that case. And on this side of the house, of course the flame for the fuel for the flame has to be maxed out, because it gives you the there's a lot of things that all these goodies you must have. I don't need to explain anything on this one. I think just grab all 20 of them, max this one if you can. Okay, now here's the one that you probably would like to depending on your comfort level, because whether or not you need to max this one or not, it is entirely up to you. As you put back more gear, you can see that this one you recover quite a lot of health, quite a lot of spirit. But if you feel that, well, look, I don't really need that much spirit return or that much health return, feel free to adjust this one down to 1. And after that, where should you put it? You could put it either the beam, kind of like a waving build, or you can put it under the blazing speed as well if you wish to have more attack speed. So it's entirely your choice, and it's just how much you're comfortable in not regenerating that. I mean, if you can maintain the spirit, that's fine too, but I'm kind of lazy. I want a very easy kind of build when I want to go to Cosmic Patrol and kind of like be fine with it. So yeah, that's one. Another one that I would like to also highlight to you is that you could do a beam waving as well, which is doing the 20 points, or max out on the incinerating blast as well. So instead of having here, you put it here. So yeah, I mean, so that is the only variety that we have. So let's talk about the gear, and after that the rotation. All right. With the gear, of course, things look a little bit different. Like for example, his rejuvenation can recover close to 3,000 health. So it is as good as like a med kit, an extra med kit, and recover quite a fair bit of spirit as well. So so that is why I kind of like value this one. But like I mentioned, this one is up to for you to adjust. So with his gear, his unique design is all right. I mean, I've got quite a lot of power that can get close to max, like the my main spender, as well as this couple of layer also I could potentially get to max, as well as signature get to max. So I'm kind of happy. And now what kind of gear do I use? Like I mentioned all the time before, I mean, these are like the baseline. Now baseline means that with this gear set for the because new player may or may not have all these like very wonderful artifacts and so on, but it doesn't stop you from enjoying what Human Torch can do. And his kill time is really quite really wonderful as well for single target. There's no complaint on Human Torch for me, not even his survivability. So now when it comes to artifact or the baseline level, I think you should aim for something like Metasensory Array. Give you the +1 to all power. Ziggurat is nice for the crit and the crit damage rating. If you have Gem of the Curse, use it. If you have Hand of Doom, use it. And then another one, of course, because he does burn a lot, so I value. I mean, this sort of thing is in your inventory all the time. Is humongous. The amount of damage rating getting from this kind of thing is 800 plus. It's like a 20%. I think 20%, 20. Yeah, it's about 20%. 20 times 40 is 800. So, and after that, you have another close to 800 as well. Well, this roll is kind of bad. I could re-roll it, but imagine if this was max, another close to 800. So these are very, very nice artifacts that we have. If you do not have this one, because I think this is something like an event kind of item, if you do not have this one, Pyro has a new artifact that has a reasonable damage rating, and then also +2 energy, so it gets closer to what this one has. But just a word of caution, sometimes we all think that you max out all the damage and so on, but also bear in mind that sometimes you have to have the balance between the damage rating as well as the crit side of the house. So I always ask people to, however you gear, I mean, the best if you can go through a spreadsheet to see what is good trade-off and so on, that's great. But if you can't, then just be aware that when you gear for all this flat damage, you have to also pay attention to those like a crit damage and crit and brutal kind of thing that on the other side, because the product will become the overall damage, the big number that you see. All right, so plus the ranks as well. So all these things need to have a balance there. And as far as the medallion, Pyro medallion is probably one of the better one for the energy heroes. Why? Exactly like I mentioned before, because it has a brutal, it has a crit, and it has the flat damage. All these things multiplied together give you a very nice result. All right, so that is one that I would recommend. There are other options as well for range. Feel free to use what you have. And from Relic's point of view, he does all the range, so I give it to him. If you really want better one, you may or may not. I mean, you could get something like the crit damage rating, but I think both are pretty similar. I would reserve the crit damage rating for the hybrid hero, both on hybrid hero on range and melee. As far as the rune word is concerned, I think this is a very cheap one, and it kind of works pretty alright. I mean, it's plus 400 overall. It's not, it's decent. If you want to have the Loki God of Mischief, use it. Especially if you can't hit 50 like me, then that one could probably help. So there are things that that you could help when you use the God of Mischief. They have +1 to, I think, signature ultimate. So those are nice stuff to have. So what I mean is this one here, by the way. Yeah. So let's move on. As far as the legendary concerned, for grade 70, always use a Gungnir unless you are summoner. If it is a grade 80, then use a rod because it gives you the best result. Some may say, well, why not use the rod for grade 70 as well? Your choice. If you feel that you need the kind of health and spirit return as you play Cosmic Terminal and Cosmic Patrol, it's fine. But I really don't see that he has any spirit issue at all, or that much of health issue. So I rather have a little bit more damage output than having all this like other utility stuff that I have. So because Human Torch really, I mean, the power is really about all these things here. If you don't do beam waving, all right, weaving. Okay, ring wise, get something nice for him like the ICP ring, a unique ring that give you energy or range. Those are fine. Limbo rings are fine as well. Now, as far as unique is concerned, I really have no complaint over all that he has. So try to keep farming, get a nice roll to his unique, and that's fine, because I love hero whereby you don't need to think too hard on what to gear, just use his unique design and you're fine. And this is the kind of like yeah, I mean, if you roll this one, it's sort of like get a crit damage rating one, and plus energy is always nice, and if not, then you can get health as well. So if you have 2 costumes, either by prestige or by purchase, then you can have the 2. Then you don't really feel fragile at all. But on the harder contents, you have quite a nice buffer. So it's 21,000 become 26,000. So 26,000 is decent. And like I've said, I value health. If you really want to push for damage of DPS, then of course you can use something not this one. But then after that, you drop your health to less than 20,000, and I don't think this would fly in Cosmic Patrol. It will be quite a hard life. That's my take, and this is for the pet. All right. So next part is on the rotation. When it comes to the rotation, let's look at the simple kind of like a build first, which is very straightforward. 3 layers of damage over time. So usually it's 1 layer, 2 layer, and the scattering is the 3rd layer. So with this 3rd layer, you can just keep doing the kind of like main spender. And as and when you want to recover your spirit, you can use the fiery rejuvenation. All right. So, but ideally, I mean, ideally you're not that close to the boss. So you probably want to have 2 areas whereby you can have the burn kind of thing. Because once you stand on something that's on fire for 10 seconds, then you sort of like you get a buff for 10 seconds. So it is worth to have that kind of like condition. All right. So now usually what I do is that I'll lay of course it's boss, and so like you can stand quite near, but if you can't stand near, you make sure you have two kind of like fire on top. But usually what I'll do is that let me just fast forward. I'll drop the fire here, the scorching, and after that I'll then do a signature flame on to buff everything up, and after that I'll continue my rotation, which is this one. Now all these things has about 8 seconds of duration. Now this is very hard to count because this one is about 10 seconds, so you can't really use this one as a gauge, and this one kind of like a reduce as well the cooldown because due to a burning condition. So you could just use this one as a reset counter if so you wish, or you could just observe when the scorching price disappear, then you reapply. You may lose that 1 second damage over time. It's really up to you. I mean, what is you comfortable in doing? So rotation as this, and just like then you just keep doing it, and when it start to disappear, I love this graphic because it kind of show you when it's sort of like going to disappear. So now my spirit is coming down. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I mean, there's still no mag hit, and that's about it. So that one is coming down, all right. So that will come back up. So it's very nice, you see. So I'm really like this is like the spirit is very easy going. There aren't many things that is like So yeah, I mean that is all that you need to do when it comes to playing Human Torch. I still haven't used any med kits, so is this possible to maintain the spirit with this particular build? But I'm going to switch over to beam waving in just a bit to show you how it works. Alright. The setup of this build is very similar to what you've seen before. The only difference is that I'm using a beam here, the incinerating blast here. So you are supposed to use this every like 1 second, just like so I hit it, and I just wave into whatever rotation you have. So for example, if your rotation is just like what I mentioned before, like that, 2, 3, then wave that one in, and wave again, then wave, then you wave, and we apply all these things and wave. I mean, so that's all that you need to do. I mean, keep waving it like every 1 second or so, wave it, but don't do it too often because you lose your homing thingy. So you see, the thing is that because your homing is like still going on, so it's very nice, and you may see result as good as like if your kill time, I don't know what the kill time is for you. I know my sort of like kill time, and you may gain up to 5 to 10% in performance if you wave this beam in, but you need to keep waving it in. So I actually find it quite alright. It's just a bit clunky, like quite artificial. Just keep like every 1 second wave the beam in, but you may gain up to 5 to 10% depending on how good you are with the rotation. I would suggest just test it out with the dummy, and if you see you like the result, then do it. If not, then it's fine. I mean, either way, I mean, even if you don't wave the beam in, which I'm quite surprised the Gazillion is still leaving on, but even if you don't wave it, I don't think you hurt your kill time. I mean, even without the waving, I'm doing quite alright with the kill time, I think. So so entirely up to you, but I thought I need to show you that. Alright, so let's talk about the Omega system. When it comes to the Omega system, it's going to be very much like just energy range kind of thing. So picks the spin tech 10, give you the boss against boss. I value a bit of health regen, and after that 13 points here for Shadow King, give me the crit and the brutal. I research all the way down here to get my plus 10 energies. It reduced my spirit cost as well for the power, so that's decent. And skill suppression for the brutal. After that, just move on to this one, just dumping the points inside. And after that, I have things like 10 points on the +1 fighting. You could put 9 or 10, doesn't really matter, but I think you could also aim for something like this one, because this one is quite nice, because once I get a sort of like area power, I gain the base to energy damage. So anyway, I start with something that area, so I'll gain the all the goodies on the energy. All right. So as for the hero synergy, it's really standard stuff. Like I'm using Cyclops. I was using Cyclops because of the leveling of the legendaries. So you could take it away as well. So that is the stuff that I do, and range and energy, like good stuff. And after that, +2/+2 energy. I could just put it fantastic to give me a bit of crafting discount as well. I do a lot of crafting. Then start off for the creep power creep damage, and the against boss and so on. So yeah, I mean these are all the stuff that I have for Human Torch. And the last part is really on the numbers itself. So now onto the number. Some of you may be interested in reading all this stuff, and if you like to, I just show you some numbers so at least you know why I'm picking certain build and so on. So always the hero, no gear, no omega point, etc. Just look at a game design perspective, and everything on rank 20. So I mean, all these things are very decent. You look at when you look at numbers like that, my friends, you know that the hero is doing pretty well because the numbers tell a story, like I always say. So a number like a vulnerability debuff having close to 8k of DPS, that's decent, right? As a damage over time. And I mean, these are very decent numbers that you have. I mean, of course, these are penalized a little bit because of knockback and so on. But these are very decent. So Incinerating Blast +3 damage over time layer is about 26k, which is there about for the range kind of like damage. But you look at the homing flares, taking the average of because it fire 1 to 5 kind of like fireball. So taking that into consideration is actually pretty decent. Alright, then you have Flame On, signature. Always the DPS is not that great unless some hero like having a long animation like Mr. Fantastic. Then the DPS is pretty decent as well because to counter the kind of like animation. Alright, so and after that you have all these other things that's more for fun kind of things that you could. I don't think you can use it for as a main spender. Yeah, I mean, all these are more for. By the way, the uppercut actually does quite a decent damage as well. I mean, it's quite. If you like to build him as a melee range, you could as well. I mean, these are very decent number compared to say the homing, right? So really, I mean, if someone want to do an uppercut, I think you could do that too. All right, so this is just the raw number, and the I think Human Torch is very simple. I don't want to overstretch this video, and and I have a lot of fun playing him. I would recommend to those just want something simple, don't want to have too many hotbar dancing, everything fit into one nice hotbar like this one. You have seen it. There's no spirit issue, and the health wise, there's not really a lot of like health issue as well. If you find him a little bit fragile, just remember, move him around, get a nice core to recover your health and so on. And don't forget, you have something called fiery rejuvenation. I know a lot of guys out there don't like to put points on those stuff like this because it's a waste of DPS. But man, I mean, I just want to enjoy my game without too much defeat. So if you can do it with 1 point there, that's fine too. All right, so I hope this is useful. Drop me a message how you feel about Human Torch. Do you like him? Do you not like him? And in which aspect you like him? And till the next time we see each other, goodbye.